This is Richard, our broker. He's going to show us the Moody 46. He was kind enough to pick us up at the airport last night, or yesterday afternoon. And here we are, the other marina. So here we are.
The non-super yacht marina, but that's okay.
We'll just have to take that rib off the back of it, otherwise we're going to fight just to put it on the boat.
Oh, it's right here.
It looks like Richard's having a difficult time pulling the boat closer to the dock. It's because as he's pulling, it's lifting the anchor chain at the bow, and that's why he's having a tough time of it. The boat's not grounded or anything like that, although the mooring line he's pulling on is pretty badly frayed.
All aboard.
This hard windscreen is a nice touch. It's reminiscent of Halberg Rassi's and Yacht's designs. The Moody 46s came from the factory with a full cutter rig and one that's done properly as well, with two roller furlers installed, so that you can have a small jib and a larger genoa. Although the genoas need to be furled in order to tack, so some people take the inner forestay down and move it. I put a temporary attachment point on it, but that's not really necessary for day-to-day sailing. Jib cars are controllable from the cockpit, as are these baby stays here, running backstays. Lose my balance here if I'm not careful.
There's one little job on this boat that I have to get finished, and that's the generator. The generator's in pieces at the moment, and we're waiting for a banjo for the injector. It was sent here 2 weeks ago. They sent the wrong one. So the right part is here. It's still at customs. I haven't got it out of customs yet. So that'll be fixed next week.
Self-tanking jib here. We got a little. Here's a spinnaker pole attached to a track. Radar dome up there, apparently new. In-mast, Selden in-mast furling. Sail, the part that shows, looks like it's in pretty good shape.
The boat was bought from new by a syndicate of 3 Brits.
Mm-hmm.
And they flagged her in Jersey and kept the boat in St. Lucia. Only one of the 3 of them really continued to sail her after the first year or 2, Chris. And 3 years ago, they approached me and said, "It's time to sell the boat, can you find us a buyer?" Which I did, and it didn't take very long. And Chris said, "I'm not letting the boat go that cheaply. I'm going to buy my partners out," which he did. So he's had the boat, sole use of it for the last 3 years, but effectively I'm going to say it's a one-owner boat because he's had it, from new. She's hauled in St. Lucia every summer, always dry stored in the summer, a good maintenance budget. 3 partners chipping into. There was always a good budget to get everything repaired every year. So she's not wanted for anything. And even Chris having it on his own, he replaced the standing rigging last season, last summer.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Put some more electronics on it. This is only a few months old, I think.
Yeah, I
There's
don't know which model it is. They used to say on it what they were.
That's the
C120 or.
No, it's the latest. I'm not sure whether it's.
This is the one we used on the Janelle we were just on, and it was really a nice system.
Yeah,
So
this
this
is 2014.
Raymarin's
so,
latest system. What else did he do? New batteries? I can't remember, but there's a list. Did I send you the inventory?
You did.
Yeah. Yes, I think you did.
There's a canvas Dodger that goes on top of the windscreen, which is down to earth.
It says it has a full sunbrella boat cover. Is that true?
I haven't seen it, but if it's on the inventory, that's one that the owner put together with me. So
Okay.
I'd like
Okay.
to say it's here somewhere.
Well, it would be big. I mean,
Yeah, it'd be huge.
it would
yeah.
be. It would probably not be something you could store on the boat, but it would be nice if it was around.
Okay. There's a lot of canvas in the middle cabin. It might well be
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Let's go below and take a look. Clutches. This one's electric. Are those are electric as well, or no?
I'm gonna say yes. Let me just check. Yeah. Buttons on the side there.
Gotcha.
I've actually got the map brought back to this one. The upholstery was redone. That had just been done when I was trying to sell the boat 3 years ago, so it's 3.5, maybe 4 years old.
How often do you show it?
Your third since I listed it. Did I list it 2 months ago? And all 3 viewings have been here in Antigua. The boat only came up over Christmas. So she was in St. Lucia. I think I listed her in November. The boat came up just before Christmas, so she's been here almost a month.
A big part of boat viewing is pulling up these floorboards and looking under the cabin sole wherever possible. Pretty much we try to lift all of them and look for how well organized and labeled and clean the bilges are, and that's something that speaks to the upkeep of the boat.
Check that out.
So I guess when someone's really drunk and they sit down, they end up down in the hole.
Yeah.
This was a nice feature. It was these little cushioned stools that pull up and out so that you can sit at the dining room table without being 4 feet away. Cool idea. Nicely done.
Checking out the building.
Do that one.
It's stuck a little bit. There.
Yeah, wine rack.
Oh, perfect. Plunk.
Grenadine syrup.
Don't know where that came from. Don't want to scratch the table.
I think these are for the Dorade vents. Okay.
Using this area for storage.
Wondering if that's the boat.
I think that's what I'm going for. It's fairly large, but it's thin, so.
There are no spare sails on the inventory. So that must be it.
There's no what?
There's no spare sails on the inventory, so this here it must be the boat.
Bunch of screws up there. I'm pretty sure they hold down these pieces of cabin sole.
Oh, that could be.
I don't see
Yeah, because
any way to pull them up. Wouldn't mind pulling them up and take a look in there.
Take this out of the way.
A little water down there. Mast and step looks like it's in pretty good shape. Womanized ply, womanized stringers there. Support the cabin sole.
I appreciate the signage.
It's always good to label that stuff, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
One of the real benefits of center cockpit designs is that the aft stateroom becomes fantastic with lots of headroom. You don't feel like you're cramped in it. It's not up at the bow where there's a lot of bounciness going on and up in a rolly anchorage. And that's probably one of the biggest selling features and why the blue water boats are oftentimes center cockpit designs. Got a little delamination going on up here. Little delamination here as well. Books and manuals.
Yeah, looks as though it's had a leak on the mast boot. Generator. Well, it's not in as many pieces as I thought it would be, but we're waiting for a banjo for the fueling injector, which so I should have. It's here on the island, but I haven't got it out of customs yet.
Customs always the best.
It's not that old a generator. It was replaced about 4 years ago. I think it only has about 500 hours on it. The engine itself, it's only got about 2,000 hours on it.
Yeah, that's what it said. It's a Volvo Penta turbo diesel in there. Access is passable, but boy, things are sure shoehorned in there.
Our cockpit is about the same size as this.
Mm-hmm.
Almost identical. We've got the same cockpit to it as well.
You know, this is, I like this because it gets out of the wet
I've
as
added
opposed to
some
being always.
I've added some cup holders in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's doable.
You know, the cup holders are surprisingly expensive,
I know.
Richard. I mean, you get the ones that attach to a stanchion and they're like $58 or something.
I'll make us.
And even on mine, like on, you know,
No,
eBay
the
or
coolest-
Google.
Coolest ones I've seen though go in
Yeah,
the
I've
winch
seen
handle ones. Those are so cool.
I got a. here's a wooden
Uh-huh.
rack for 4 cups from West Marine, and just cut that down to a 2-cup rack.
And put it here?
Customized and put it there. I think that was maybe $100.
What do you think of the in-mast furling systems? I mean, it seems like that's the thing, they're all going to it now. I mean, I know you give away your horizontal battens, but do you find any major performance difference?
Lose a bit of performance going hard on the wind, but you gain a lot of ease of sail handling. So much easier than our boat was re-rigged. The story why it was re-rigged, but we originally had a very big fully battened main, which was we did the regattas, we won a few of the regattas. But every time I had to put a reef in, it took me 10 minutes, and by then the squall had gone anyway.
Yeah.
So when we re-rigged it, I put electric in-mast furling, and we've got all 4 electric winches as well, so it's all push-button sail handling, and it's so much easier. I don't have to leave the cockpit, the sails in, it's out again. And you can pretty much do the same on this, because you've got the outhaul and the furling on that electric winch. The overhang on the bow, the plumb bow.
Well, the plumb bow is something that's the rage now, and I think that you know, people equate accurately longer waterline with speed.
Sure.
And so that's all the production boats have that, and some even have a revert. You know, some of the newer race boats they've actually reversed the bow overhang. It's got a rake to it, which is just weird looking, but to me, but. The Rob Humphreys designed oysters are truly beautiful, and I think that the newer ones are a lot faster than the 485.
Yeah. Well,
with larger sail area, because that's really where the 485, it just doesn't have a lot of sail area. The mast is lower.
We did a few of their regattas. There wasn't a 53 that could touch us.
Really?
Not one of them. The 49s were we were very evenly matched with the newer 49. And when the 54 came out, it was untouchable. It was so much faster than anything else. And even their 56s couldn't touch it. The well-sailed 54 is a very, very fast boat. In their regattas, some of them are not that well sailed.
I'm sorry, what's that?
In their regattas, some of them are not that well sailed.
Sure. Well, you know, when
we're sailing past an oyster 56, there's something wrong. You know?
yeah. Well, 54 to 56. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times you do see. I was we're walking past the super yachts, and I'm thinking to myself, the owners of these boats don't know how to sail them. They hire Volvo Ocean Race guys or, you know, somebody like that to come and help them with it. And those are the guys that say, hey, let's throw up the spinnaker, let's throw up the code 0. And the guy's like, okay, if you say so, you know, because he would never dream of doing it himself. That much sail area, it's so powerful.
Yeah, when we did their regattas, it used to be that there were 2 classes, 55 feet and below, 56 and above. So we were in class 2, and we were competing against let's call them owner drivers. You know, there were no crew on any of the boats. In the other class, they were all fully crewed, even the 56s. And anything much bigger than a 56, you're on the cusp of needing a permanent engineer come skipper on the boat. There's so much gear on them. You can't just leave them sitting in a marina for a month or 2. Everything needs to be used.
Sure. Oysters all over the place here.
Yesterday. Yeah. No, that was Sean. No.
Got oyster 54 next to us, and then that big boat there's another oyster. Don't know which size it is. Big enough to have twin helms.
I must have shown him 6 or 7 different.
So electric control here for this main sheet winch, or primary Genoa winch.
Bow thruster.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it easier to know which way you're going.
The Moody 46. It was a bit of a flight to get to Antigua, obviously, and especially for kind of a long weekend. It didn't feel like a vacation. It was definitely work in a way. We loved Antigua as an island. We love the people. It's very friendly. Wonderful harbors. The harbors are unbelievable there.
And there's good shopping to be had for Americans looking for non-VAT paid boats. This particular boat was not VAT paid, which makes it difficult for the Europeans to come and take a look at it, because they're going to want a 20% cut in price, because that's what the VAT does for European residents. It doesn't apply to U.S. residents. So it puts U.S. and non-EU shoppers in a pretty good position to negotiate price. That said, we went to see the boat because if you look at blue water cruising type boats, the Moody's are eventually going to show up. They're not as well known in the U.S. as, say, Swan and Oyster and Passport and Halber Grassi and some of those other brands. But nonetheless, it's a good pedigree boat. Bill Dixon design, skeg hung rudder. All the numbers are good for capsize screening and motion comfort and the things that you want for an offshore boat. So that was the attraction of why we went down there, and we were impressed. The biggest reason we decided to pass had very little to do with the boat itself. It just felt a little small. I'm a big guy. I'm 6 feet tall and over 200 pounds, and I just like having a little bit of space. Boats are never going to be truly spacious, but this boat for a 46, it felt tight to me, and that's probably because blue water boats aren't nearly as beamy, especially aft, as the production boats are, and so they have a tendency to feel a bit tighter inside. But for somebody, I would encourage somebody looking at a 42 or a 43 or even a 45 to go take a serious look at the Moody 46. It's if you were looking at a 45, this boat would have felt right there, and believe me, 1 foot or 2 feet of difference in a hull is a big deal. The boat may only get a foot longer, but it gets bigger, it gets taller inside, it gets wider at the beam, and the spaciousness of the larger boats, it's just something you have to see to understand. And you would think that it wouldn't matter, but it really does. So that's where we're at with it. We're going to continue the search. We could come back to a boat like this in the future if we don't find anything that we like better. But there are some other boats on the list that we do need to go see, and so we're gonna do that. And when it comes to boat shopping, you really have to take your time and know the market, know the various boats that you're looking at, and don't get emotional about it. Just take whatever time you need in order to feel comfortable with it. And when you see the right boat, it'll feel right for you. You'll immediately say, this is it. So that's what we're hoping for. We just haven't found that yet. So we love that you guys watch. We hope that you like and subscribe. That's a big deal for us. It gets us in the rotation for other videos that are similar to ours. And so post whatever comments or any questions that you might have, and I try to respond to everyone. So we'll see you soon.